Bryce, when you see a guy who came into training camp as a starter get cut, what does that signify about this business or the competition here?
Yeah, I mean it's tough, to see something like that. It's real. This is different for me, of course, being new to the league, different dynamics. But I mean, unfortunately, that's it's part of the business. But again, you hate to see things like that happen. And it just we're big on competition. No one's entitled to anything, and every day we try to compete and try to we have to do what's best for the team, and I know that it's tough for the front office and coaching staff to make that decision as well. Obviously we're football players, but we're men. People are husbands and fathers and stuff, so there's no one wants to do that, but have to make they have to make the decision for the team, which is always tough. But yeah, unfortunately, that's one of the harsher sides of the business.
Well, Brian Ray is one of the guys that stood up in that position. You obviously played with him in college. How would you describe his game?
Yeah, LeBron, like you said, been with him in college, and first off, off the field, a great guy, really good dude, great guy to have in the locker room. But someone who's a super hard worker. I've been able for years now to be able to see him how he works in the in the weight room, on the practice field. Just someone who has a great mentality, great spirit for the game, and then goes out and produces and makes plays, and a disciplined player that can go out and win matchups and execute, which is at the end of the day what we're all looking for. So I'm definitely happy that he's here.
Bryce, you've taken a few big hits from your blind side in the first two preseason games on a limited number of throws. Any concern there, and what's your conversations with Icky after those, and how that relationship is?
Yeah, no concerns. We're it's football. Again, that's part of the job. I'm gonna get hit. As a quarterback, I haven't watched every game in the world, but I'd imagine it's very few and far in between when a quarterback doesn't get hit, doesn't get sacked. So again, it's part of the job, and we're all trying to grow. There's no, again, and stuff like that. It's not one person. It's not one. We're all as a unit trying to get better. We want to execute every single play, and it's not one person's fault on any given play. It's all of us need to do better on those plays. There's stuff I can do that are better as well. And again, I'm growing. We're all getting better, and no one's we all are going to make mistakes, and that's a part of it. So I'm trying to focus on being the best version of myself, and also us as a unit, us making sure we're the best version. So there's no finger pointing, there's no lack of confidence or anything like that. I'm super happy, super blessed to be in the locker room, have the teammates that I do, and have all the confidence in the world for them.
Bryce, just curious. I know some of this is out of your control, but I mean you've only thrown 12 passes so far in the preseason, played 5 series. Would you personally, do you wish you were playing more, getting more, experience under your belt in the preseason?
Yeah, well, this is by design. This is something that, again, I trust the coaches wholeheartely and their approach, what they're doing, the play calling, everything. And, it is new for me. I've never played in a preseason game. I've never played like there's scrimmages in high schools, I guess, but I've never played a game that wasn't, that the player, the stars are playing as much as they can, and again, obviously that's a part of the league. So, it's just something that's new for me to adjust to. But no, there's no, again, our coaching staff, our coaches, they've been here for years. They've had a ton of success. I have all the respect in the world for them. And again, they don't just wake up the day before the game and just try to figure out. They have a reason, they have a plan, and whatever that is, I don't question it. I just go in and try to execute. So again, I know everything's happened for a reason. So.
Do you feel ready if the regular season was to start, sooner than a couple weeks?
Yeah, I mean that's our job, is to stay ready, make sure that we're always prepared. I feel like there's definitely stuff that I want to improve on and get better at, and there's stuff throughout this week that we're looking at to grow in. And again, this is a different week now process-wise, so this is kind of another step in the direction of just having a more game-like process and scheduling and things like that. So it's great to have that under our belt. But of course, it's our job to be ready and stay ready, and we understand when the regular season starts. But we have to do everything we can to work towards that day in and day out. So I'm excited with that.
I'm sorry, Bryce.
Yeah, good.
Frank said after the game that he could tell you wanted to pass the ball more. Is it hard to get into a rhythm with just these limited windows?
I think it's again, it's a unique set of circumstances, especially for me, who is my first experience with the preseason of you only get a certain, playing only a certain amount of drives and, doing certain, just being limited, which again is it's new for me. But, with that being said, it's not something that's, I would say, is frustrating or something that, as a competitor, I think we all go out on the field and after we play a series or play two, we all come back to the sideline regardless of the result, thinking, all right, what are we going to do the next drive, ready? And then, coach comes over and it's like, all right, you're done. And that's with, that's not just me, that's all the guys of, all right, now we're going to let whoever else go in, you're not going to go in. And I think we all have that, like, I want to get back out there. You want to, because the game's fun. Like it's it's what we all work the whole weeks for. It's what we live for, is to go out and have those moments. So when you are out there, it does. The competitor and myself, and I think in all of us, we want to keep playing, we want to keep going. But again, you have to. There's a reason for everything. We all trust the coaches, and there's a reason for why we do what we do. So you have to reel that back, of course, and I trust the process.
What specifically do you want to improve on? You said you had things you want to improve on before the regular season. What things do you want to fine-tune?
Sorry, what was that last part?
Fine-tune going into the regular season.
Yeah, operation, I think really just continue to grow in the ownership of the playbook and commanding the huddle and things of that nature. And then just being more efficient with execution, with where my eyes want to be pre and post snap. Make sure that it's a smooth operation from a ball handling standpoint, cadence, footwork, all those sorts of things. And I think just like you said, fine-tuning that and trying to keep pushing that and not being complacent. Keep trying to grow. The coaches do a great job of pushing myself and everyone in the QB room and all that stuff. So I'm really dialed in on that.
You talked about the process. Are you a routine-oriented guy? Because now you've gone through 2 kind of game day routines, home and away. And if so, what does that game day routine look like for you?
Yeah, definitely am a routine-oriented person. It actually has been really interesting these last couple of weeks because I'm kind of actively building it. These 2 days, again, it's a very different schedule from college, of course. You're just in a different place, just learning what, the strength staff and everything, we have different routines as a team. So actually, I'm trying to fine-tune it now. Having a home and an away game for preseason really helped of what want that routine to look like. But right now it's still forming, it's still building. You try to take some of the stuff that I've been doing my whole life and figure out how it fits with the schedule. I don't have it, I'm pretty much know where I'm going. It hasn't been 100% ironed out just because, again, we've only had 2. But it's just making sure that I'm prepared for the game mentally, physically, making sure that I'm, crossing off all the boxes leading up to the game that we need to. And then, really just managing the time of, when I start warm-ups and things like that. So, that's kind of been a good process for me.
Is there one in particular thing that you do? Do you have one thing that you have to do on game day?
I wouldn't say just one. I think there's, from warm-ups to, around the time I want to eat, things like that. It's a lot of things, really. I wouldn't say one's anymore. And, I'm not really, I'm not superstitious or anything, so it's not like the one thing that, this has to. But really, it's just all, it's just all about how I can be at my best, when it is kickoff time.
Right. So finish over the middle. The play over the middle with Mingo that you kind of chalked up to a miscommunication. Because of your ability to kind of improvise in the pocket, is that something that's happened before with receivers you're just starting to work with? And what's it been like to work through some of that stuff with another rookie?
Yeah, of course. I think there's a ton of things that, from my end, learning receivers, how they come out of routes, how they like certain balls, certain things. It's the same thing with me, with sometimes different arm angles or being in different spots, things like that. I think there's always a learning curve. There's always, whenever you're in a new group, a new unit, there's always going to be little nuances that you kind of just have to experience to learn from. And again, I think that was just one of them. And I think really being able to have that and, have the opportunity to go over that stuff with a group of guys that are so open-minded and so collaborative. We all are able to, there's some guy, some people just want to be stubborn and stuck and don't want to change. But myself and, the receivers and tight ends and everyone really as a team, we've all been big on, collaborating, having conversations, talking, all right, this is what I see, this is what what you see, how are we going to, find a way to meet in the middle and figure it out and what's going to be the best for us. So, I think the best part for me is just being with a group of guys that want to collaborate, want to get better, want to find out what's the best for us. And, I think we've grown a lot in that department.
All right, thanks, Bryce.
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Bryce.